Hey, everybody. This is Marlene of Love Marlene 411, where we put a focus on love, all of the love things. I appreciate you guys for being here. So, today we're going to be talking about if you love them, prove it. If you love people, prove it by your actions. Hi, Shay. How are you doing? Welcome, welcome. Hope you're doing great. I wanted to talk about this topic because I think people tend to be more of a saying things, opening up their mouth and talking about they love people, or people will say they love you because of what they want from you. They say I love you if you do this, or I love you if you do that. And then when the relationship is no longer convenient, then the love goes. I'm not talking about that fake love. I'm talking about true, real, pure love. And it's the kind of love that will make sacrifices for another person. It will keep you up. It's like a parent's love for their child, that they would do anything to show the love for that child. It's the love that you have for somebody when you're in a romantic relationship and you love them. You'll do anything to make them happy and keep them happy. You'll do all the things to make them comfortable, all the things to give them peace. And the same thing is true in all healthy relationships. Notice I said healthy relationships because on this channel we focus on trauma healing. And some traumatic things happen to many of us from our childhood and onward because we just don't know better. Sometimes, especially back in the day, like in my parents' age group or with my older siblings, they used to just say things but not really mean it, or they would only show up for you when it was something that they could get from it. And you have to do more than just say that you love somebody. You have to prove it by the actions, because the actions is what's important. Hi, Adarsh. How are you doing? You have to prove it. And that is one thing that I had to learn. I had to learn that love is not toxic, as many of us go through, sometimes hit our head against the wall, or we get used and abused from so many different relationships. It could start from your childhood, it could be in friendships, it can be romantically. Love can really do a number on us and can really hurt us. But uh, the truth about it is that if you really care about somebody, then you'll put in the work to show it by your actions. You'll prove to somebody that you care about that you will put in the work and the time to prove it to them. Do you prove to people that you care about that you love them? And how do we do this? We can show that we love the people that we really care about by how we treat them. How do you communicate? Do you say things in anger? Do you just say whatever you want to and just say I don't care? I can say what I want to. And when we offend somebody and hurt them, we call them sensitive. That's something that we have to step away from, because I grew up in that, like, I say whatever I want to, I don't care. But then later on, when you think about it, like, oh, that wasn't nice, or you damage relationships by saying things that's mean spirited. And that's why I always say that love is an action word. Love will actively show up and do what it's supposed to do. See, I had to learn that it was more than just me being comfortable. And people will say, "Oh, I don't like saying I love you. That I wasn't raised like that, or I didn't grow up communicating, or I don't know how to do that. So it's not important because it's not important to me." If you care about somebody else, we have to learn to develop healthier mindsets. Hi, Miss Betty. How are you doing? We have to learn to develop healthy mindsets and healthy thinking. And I know one thing for sure is my thinking was definitely not healthy. I grew up in a very toxic environment and it was very dysfunctional, very, very dysfunctional. So that's something that when things happen to us in our childhood or adulthood, when somebody says something to hurt us, we have to not allow that to get to us and harm another person. And that's exactly what happens to us when we don't heal from our inner child, when we don't heal from relationships. And we see it time and time again. People bounce from one relationship to the other and they never sit still enough to say, what did I do? What was the reason why the relationship didn't work? Instead of working on the relationships, they only want what's easy, what's comfortable. And if you are in a healthy relationship, that relationship is going to get you out of your comfort zone. It's going to hold one another accountable. You're going to be growing in the relationship. You will experience peace. See, that is proof of true and healthy love. And like I've said time and time again, I didn't grow up with healthy love being seen from the parental figures or even from siblings or other people, because it's just not something that was looked as important back in the day. But we do know that it's important to tell the people that you care about that you love them, and not just saying it sporadically, but meaning it and improving it. Because you love somebody, what are you willing to sacrifice? Are you willing to sacrifice your time? Are you willing to put in the work to learn what makes another person happy? See, for me, in my healthy relationship, I had to learn that even though sometimes I want to say something, but I know that it's not kind. I know that it will hurt their feelings, and I prove my love to that person by not saying something that will cause them to be offended or to experience some mental health disruption. Hey, Sirius, how are you doing? Welcome, welcome. Appreciate you coming through. And that is something that I honestly had to learn. I didn't grow up in that. I had to learn how to adapt to a healthy thinking, a healthy mindset, a healthier version of me. Because if you've ever been hurt by people, regardless of who it was, romantically, it could be a sibling, it could be your parents, it could be anybody, you have to heal that, or you are going to give that toxic love to somebody else, whether you want to or not. And that's why I say that love is an action word, because if you really say you love somebody like you claim you do, love is not going to be comfortable. Love is going to check you. Love is going to help you to grow. Love is going to be supportive and kind, and not just what you may view as important. You also have to view what's important to them and supporting them. And I had to learn how to be supportive, because there are times where some things like, oh, I'm not into that sport, or I'm not into that book, or whatever the person that you love is into. If something is important to somebody that you love, it should be important to you. See, that's proof of love. Love is not just about what we like. What we like, that's a personal thing, but what does the people that we love? What is important to them? What do they value? What is special to them? And I think when you have a good, healthy relationship, you go back and forth and you make one another feel seen, heard, loved, and appreciated. And that is something that I didn't learn until after I started working on me, being accountable, getting therapy. I had to learn to check myself because sometimes you don't think, oh, that was insensitive or that was rude. But now that I have learned more about myself and respecting others and boundaries. Hi, Kristen. How are you doing? Happy Tuesday. And learning about boundaries, I had to learn that it's not about what I like, it's what do they like, or what does this person need at the moment. And yes, sometimes you can be annoyed by individuals that you love, or you may not understand why they think like they think. But have you ever asked them, why do you need X, Y, and Z? And then wait for their response, wait for somebody's response. Don't judge another person and feel like you know. And one thing that I've been doing with friends and all the people that I love, I've been keeping a little notebook and really asking some more very important questions, like really getting to know what is your favorite, what is your bucket list thing to do, more than just what's your favorite color and what do you like to eat, like what makes you happy, what brings you peace, when did you learn to love yourself, how do you keep hope in your life. I think asking those questions was eye opening to me, and I really began to know people that I've known for many, many years. But like I've said so often, that you can know of someone but never know them. You can be in a household with brothers and sisters and parents and whoever, and you will never get to know them on a deep level because it's just a surface level relationship. Like you're just there and you say hi and bye, and but you really don't get to know them on a deeper level. And that's why I was saying, as an adult, do you learn prove, okay, I'm here because I care about you, and because I care about you, I want to know you better. Have you developed those sort of relationships with the ones that you claim that you love? Really peeling back the layers, peeling back the onion per se, and asking those questions. What brings you peace? What gives you hope? What helps you to be encouraged? When did you learn to love yourself? You know, and questions like that, every single person is different, but, really getting to know, more, get peeling back the layers and finding out what makes them tick, what makes them happy. How did you get through a hard situation in your life? And do you mind sharing what that was? Like really getting to know who people are, what makes them happy, what brings them peace, what gives them joy. And that's how you can really let people know that it's not just the surface level. Because I know for almost my entire life, I only had surface level love for the people that were around me. You claim to say, oh, that's my mother, those are my siblings, that's my best friend, and that's my husband, wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, whoever it is. Yes, you can be around them, but do you really know them? Have you asked those probing questions, and getting to know them? And then when you find out what they like, what brings them peace, and then doing things that is in their love language, things that will make them feel seen and heard, that's showing true love. And the majority of people aren't going to do that because they only give surface level love. See, they give more of the, just saying it. It's just something that you just say by rote. You're just saying it. It just rolls off your tongue when people leave the house or something. I love you, but they really don't mean it. And I feel that there has to be more than just saying it. There has to be some meaning. There has to be some value underneath that. There has to be way more than the surface level. Hi, the garden. How are you? Welcome. There has to be more than the surface level because, like I said, I have been around my parents, my siblings, my friends. I've been around people, but like, do you really know them? Like, probably maybe some entries that maybe somebody would have in their journal. You know, this was a hard period of time in my life when I went through this, and how did they get through that? And what encourages them and what gives them hope? It's sometimes we think we know, but have you asked those probing questions? Because if you really love someone, you will prove by showing up for them, by being compassionate, by doing some kind things, by being supportive of their interests. See, that is proving. It's more than just saying I love you, because for many of us that's the easiest part, just saying we love somebody. For others it may be more difficult. It may be difficult for them to say those words because maybe love has not shown up in their life in a healthy way. But for the most part, saying I love you is the easiest thing. It's a whole nother thing to prove it by your actions. Because I love you, what am I willing to do to prove this to you? And it's about showing respect. When you love somebody, you respect them. Not what you think is respect, but maybe sometimes somebody will tell you, I don't like when you say or do X, Y, and Z. Do you just go, oh, whatever? Who cares? You're being sensitive. No. If you love somebody and they tell you what triggers them, what hurts them, what makes them feel uncomfortable, do you listen? Do you respect others' boundaries? And I will even say, even with children, if you have children, you know, and they tell you, can you knock before you come in the room? And people will be, oh, this is my house and I don't have to. Respect. If someone's asking you, what will it hurt for you to extend that olive branch and be kind to another person? That won't hurt. Hi, how are you doing? Welcome. Appreciate you being here. Fashion by Natalie. Happy Tuesday. And that was one of the things that I grew up in, that background of, we didn't talk about love. That was a no-no. That was like, if you said you love somebody, it had to be when something drastic was happening, somebody was passing away, or it was only on a special occasion, like it was your birthday, or maybe you graduated. You had to do something big to get the I love yous. And I really want to change that narrative over here on this channel, and for us to focus on how we can have healthy love, healthy communication, healthy actions, a healthier way of showing up, and not just saying we love somebody when we want something, or saying we love somebody only when we know that they're about to pass away, or when we know like they're leaving or moving away. Or sometimes people only talk about love when they know that they're about to leave somebody, when somebody's leaving them because they can't take the toxic behavior. See, I only can speak on that because that used to be me. It wasn't that long ago where I was a very toxic individual. I had a major attitude, always rolling my eyes, always saying whatever. I said whatever I wanted to say. I didn't care about how it made another person feel. But at the other side of my mouth, I'm talking about I love them, but then I didn't care that it hurt their feelings. I didn't care that it was going to cause a rift in the relationship. If we claim that we love people like we say we do, we have to do more than just talk about I love you with our mouth. But how are we showing up in real time? How are you showing up as a mother, as a husband, as a wife, as a brother, as a sister, as a cousin, as a friend? You know, how are you showing up to show the people that you love the proof? You know, we've always heard this for many years. The proof is in the pudding, the proof is in the actions. Well, what does your actions prove about how you love other people? And something that I had to think about when I was talking with my therapist about how I love, we usually think that we're doing a great job. Oh yeah, I'm doing a great job. But you know, I tell them I love them, but how do they feel? How is the love received? Is the love received with respect? Is that even the love that they need? Is that their love language? Are you being kind and compassionate? Are you being understanding? Are you being respectful of other people's boundaries? See, that for me is real true love, when someone says that offends me, and you pull back and say, oh, yeah, I remember. They don't like that. And I like to keep that in my mind about what offends people, what hurts people, because that's only when you care. See, if you don't care about people, you'll just say or do whatever you want to, but you can't claim to love somebody and then out the side of your mouth, you cuss people out. You ghost them. You do all kinds of things. You don't show up for them. You don't check in on them. And I was guilty of that myself, you know, because I'm accountable. I'm accountable for my own actions, for how I treat other people. Because at the end of the day, I got to look at myself in the mirror. I have to face the consequences of how I treat other people. And it's not the easiest thing when someone says you did X, Y, and Z. The first thing is for you to put up the hold on, wait a minute. That's the thing that most of us do. We put up our guards and we want to say, "Oh, I didn't do nothing. That's you, and you're sensitive." No, if somebody is checking you, and especially if it's somebody that you care about, and it's not in their character for them to say something hurtful or mean or rude to you, this is your time where it's time for you to listen. See, that's the part that I had to learn about love. When it's a true love, when it's authentic love, love is going to be patient. Love is going to be respectful. Love is going to help you to grow and to be a better human being. If your love is not growing you, if your love is not healing you, if your love is not checking you and say, "Hey, don't say that. Don't do that. That's not nice." And it's not in a rude way, it's not to embarrass you, but it's to help the other person to grow. And I love that I have people in my life that are pushing me out of my comfort zone, because I'm the type of person that I could stay home all the time and chill and I'll be happy. But when you have people in your life that know your potential, and because they love you and they know what you're capable of, that their love for me is helping me to experience better personal development, better personal growth. See, and that's proof to me of that person's love. Because they love me, they're going to check me. Because they love me, they're going to hold me accountable. And then I have to say, you know what? They're right. And then I got to get back on the horse. I got to get myself back together. Rilla says, I'm at the point where I don't pay folks' words no mind. Hmm. And I can understand that. But that used to be me for such a long time. I was definitely the person who wanted to hear, I love you, I love you. But meanwhile, that's the same person that cusses you out, the person that ghosts you, the person that talks about you behind your back, the person that's jealous of you. I had to ask myself the question, why do I want them to love me? And the conclusion that I came through for help and therapy and coaching is that I had some voids within myself, and I needed their love to fill in the empty spaces, the empty gaps, the voids in my life. And when I learned to heal the painful things that happened to me, then I no longer needed other people's love. When you grow your love, when you empower yourself, when you become strong, when you become independent, you're only looking for people who are strong, independent, supportive. You want the healthy version of yourself. And I know when I was toxic, of course, they say something, oh, you said this, oh yeah, rah, 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 and you give it right back to them, cuss them out, ghost them. So it's bad behavior meets bad behavior, and that's not love. See, I had to learn that I had to grow up because I'm a role model. I'm an example. I want to be known for the way that I changed, and how I become supportive. And these days, I'll tell you how I feel instead of holding that in and then going and calling up somebody. Hey, I can't believe they did this to me, instead of having the conversation with the person that I need to have the conversation with. See, therapy helped me with that. Maturity helped me with that. Self love helped me with that. If I feel some type of way, then I need to tell that person. And that is the part of, we can say we love somebody, but also it comes right back to us. We say we love people, but do we love ourselves? Because there's moments where we get disrespected, we get run over, we get taken advantage of. And will you love yourself in that moment and prove it by saying, no, 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 don't talk to me like that. No, you haven't talked to me for this a period of time. Like, what do you want? You know, when you love yourself, you have standards, you have boundaries, you have values, and you have no problem enforcing them. Love is not just for you to give love to other people. Love is also for you to receive. And it took me a long time for me to understand that love was more than just me doing. It was also other people saying, hey, I did this for you. I was thinking about you. Are you okay? Can I do something to support you? Can I help you in any way? See, sometimes we don't feel like we deserve that, or we don't ask for the things that we want. And it could be the reason why you may feel so down, so stressed. And also, we have to learn to delegate. That was another thing that, me coming from that background of, hustle and do it for yourself, you don't have to do everything on your own. You have to hold other people accountable too. And it was my upbringing that you just do everything for everybody, but who's doing things for you? Yes, there are times you need to sit down. Someone needs to bring you a drink, so bring you a meal, do something nice for you, take you out without you having to do anything in return. They're just doing it out of the kindness of their heart because they care about you. And that's why I say all the time that love is an action word. It's about the proof. It's how they show up for you. And if a person cares about you like they claim that they do, then they would be willing to show by their actions, show up for you, support you, and ask you what you need, and then continue to do that. See, love should be growing you. Love should be helping you. Oh, thank you so much, Miss Nexie. How are you doing? Welcome. Love should be growing you. I want to do the super chat song when the super chat hits. Thank you, Miss Nexie. Um, and I wanted to say that to everybody. If you look at people in your life and they only talk to you when they are begging for something. Hey, can I borrow some money? Hey, can you take me here? It's only calling you because they want something. If you think that's love, you're mistaken. Because I was in that category of thinking because I'm so good and because I'm so kind to other people, they love me so much. No, they love to use you. They love that you're always available. They love that you don't say no. Okay. They love that you don't enforce any boundaries and they can treat you any type of way and you keep taking it. See, we have to know the difference and stand up for ourselves. So, Miss Nexty said, "You need money? Sorry, I lost my wallet just before you asked me, like a second before." Yes, and that's one of the things that coming from where I came from, I was the person that I think just because I cared about other people, and then I didn't think about, wait a minute, they always want me to pay for them, or they always treat me this way, or they always treat me like the last option. Like they'll invite everybody to something and then I don't get invited, but I'm the first one that they call when they want something. See, they want me when it's a moment of desperation, but when it's time to have fun, I'm not included in that. So I had to really speak up for my own self and to say, nope, yeah, I'm not good enough for you when you're having fun, but I'm the first person you call when you're struggling. So, you cut those people off and you block them because that's toxicity. That's manipulation. That's being used. And we are not doormats, loved ones. We're very important. We're very special. And I wanted to do this, have this conversation in hopes that there's somebody, and I don't know who it is, but I felt drawn to do this topic because there is somebody out there that is letting people use them. It could be your children, it could be a spouse, it could be your friends, it could be the workplace, it could be anybody. And they always say, oh, you're such a nice person, you're so kind, and oh, they love you so much. No, no, no. See, I had to learn and heal that inside of me, that love isn't just doing something for somebody. They would be there for you even if you didn't have a dollar. They would still be supportive, they still would be kind to you, they would be helpful, they would be happy for your personal growth. And that's the thing about love. You really can identify who really wants you to succeed and really loves you when you start making changes in a healthy category, right? When you start to become healthier, when you start to become happier, you'll find out who your friends are, who your loved ones are. You'll see if they loved you or if they're jealous. See, sometimes people will love you as long as you and them are on the same playing field. But anytime you start to do better, or you change the toxicity, or you check them, now they can't use you anymore. That's not love. Real and true love is going to be supportive. Real love is going to help you to grow and, seeing the best in the person. And I love when I have conversations from people that really truly love me and they say, hey, I thought you were going to do X, Y, and Z. What's going on with that? Oh, yeah, I know. I procrastinated. Well, I just want to encourage you to continue on because I know you can do it. See, for me, that is proof of love, is not just like the fake love, the evil love that I knew of formerly would be like, huh, She said she was going to do that. I knew she wasn't going to do it. No, the healthier version of that side is someone saying, I know you want to do this. How can I help you? How can I support you so you can get to that goal? That is love. It's true love is seeing the need and then filling it. Mhm. Users are not loyal people, and you find out the minute you stop helping or say no to them. Oh, isn't that the truth? You find out very quickly who cares, and you find out very quickly who does not. And I just wanted to say this to all of you. We have to focus on the love for ourselves first, and so often we'll focus on everybody and we'll be the last one standing. You have to put yourself on the table. Hi, Monique. How are you doing? Welcome. You have to put yourself on the table. You have to show up for yourself, ladies and gentlemen. You got to care about your mental health. You have to have boundaries and enforce them. Even if somebody doesn't like what you said, they still are going to respect you because you stand on business and I mean what I say. See, when people know that you're not wishy-washy, or they can say something, oh yeah, she'll change her mind. Just work on her a little bit. No, you have to stand firm. You have to stand 10 toes down on what you think and what you believe. Okay? Great, Queen. Thanks for asking. Awesome. I appreciate you guys being here. If you guys are new, feel free to hit the like and to subscribe if you are enjoying the content. Um, but what I wanted to say to every single person, regardless of what's going on in your life, whether you're in a romantic relationship, you're not in a romantic relationship, whether you have small children or your kids are grown, or you have no children, whether you have your parents or you don't have your parents, whether you have whatever, whether you have friends that have turned into your family, whoever loves you, you got to ask yourself, how are they proving that they do? See, let's not walk around with the rose colored glasses on and ignore how we're being treated, ignore that they never show up, ignore that they never text me, but once or twice a year, they don't do anything nice for me. That's not love. And that's not family. Your real family. I have people who are my family that is not blood relative, but it's those who have shown up to be my sister. They've showed up to be my brother. They've showed up to be a grandmother or grandfather in my times of need. They've supported me and encouraged me when I was very discouraged. See, that's proof right there. It's, do they love you when it's hard? Do they love you when you're hard to deal with, when you're being stubborn, unreasonable, when you're not doing what you're supposed to do? Do they encourage you to get back on track, or do they make fun of you? So that's something that I had to start thinking about. Who do I align myself with? And who you associate with ultimately shows up in the type of life that you have. And I realized that when I started getting rid of the toxic people, the non supportive, the unreasonable people, and then I became better. I could love myself more. I could show up for myself. I had peace. I could get into my goals and my dreams and my hopes because they weren't there dragging me down, or I wasn't listening to their negativity and their drama. So, it's just something to think about, to really ask yourself the question, am I loving them, or are they loving me? That's something that a lot of adults don't think about. Maybe at one time they did, but have they stopped, or have they never loved you? That's a very important question, because sometimes we think, oh, they're going through something, and we'll make excuses. Because I know I've done it, make excuses for people. Oh, they're going through something right now, but it's been like 10 years. It's like, when is that season going to be over, where they stop doing X, Y, and Z? Okay. We have to do better. If you want better, you have to do better. And that also relates to us, how we treat ourselves, how we allow people to treat us. That matters. That even though they may be rude and disrespectful, but it doesn't mean you have to keep taking their phone calls. It doesn't mean you have to keep going out with them and spending money on them. That's fake. That's fake love. That's fake support. I don't do that fake love, fake support. If I haven't heard from you all year, you better believe you don't look for no gifts, no phone calls, and no texts from me. I don't do the fakeness and the phoniness. If I know that I am good to you, I know that I'm being a good friend. I know that I'm being a good loved one, and you're not reciprocating, or you're taking me for granted. No, they're going to have to prove it. And you're going to be the one that is going to have to show up for yourself and say, my respect is non-negotiable. Miss Nexie says, you are 100% correct, Miss Marlene. Non-relatives are sometimes more loving to us than our own so-called blood family. And I've experienced it. I have been so, oof, I've been so blessed. And I get choked up about it, because anybody who has ever had people run over them and disrespect them, and then someone comes and just covers you, protects you, loves you, pours into you, like, and you're like, you kind of take a step back from it, because of, you're waiting for the toxicity to begin, because that's all you know. And I know I've done that, because I don't let people in very easily because of my background. I have to make sure I'm not letting people use and abuse me. But at the same time, I hold people accountable. And when people aren't doing right to me, it's time for me to correct the wrong. And it's time for you to correct the wrong. And don't be a doormat. Don't be used. Don't be played. And don't believe because you love somebody that they love you back. It applies to all relationships. If they're not doing something to actively prove that they love you, cut them off. Stop being the doormat. Stop being played. And they only love you when they want to be kissing on you. They only love you when you're going to give them some money. They only love you when you can take them here or there. They only love you when you can do this or that for them. But when you can't, oh, they don't have time for you. Mm-hmm. See, I'm talking about the real and true love, that somebody will be, if you're sick, go and make you a meal, buy you soup, orange juice, whatever it is. I'm not giving medical advice. I'm just saying, if when you're sick, or in your time of need, your time of grief, your time of discouragement, are they there for you? How many phone calls are you getting when you're going through something? That really will tell you who really loves you and who doesn't. Okay. Thank you guys so much for tuning into today's show and podcast. I appreciate every single one of you. And I want to say, love your life and live your life. And know that you are enough. You are worthy, capable, and able. I am Love Marlene 411. And on this channel, we put a focus on healing traumatic relationships, healing the traumatic love and focusing on being healthy. Because when we become loved in ourselves, we know how to show up and love everyone that we encounter. Thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. I appreciate you guys. I wish you love, blessings, and peace. Until the next time, bye bye.